Hello, welcome to my very first YouTube video. Today I'm going to show you how to do these tortoiseshell cateye gel nails. They're really beautiful, perfect for this season. So I'm starting out with some hard gel on my nails already, just to give a little bit of extra support. And I did this hard gel last night, so in this clip I'm going in and just prepping, making sure that there are no oils or dirt or anything like that on my nails. I use my own surface cleanser. I made it with some alcohol and a little bit of acetone just to really make sure everything gets off. Putting on base gel, pretty basic. Whatever you use, I would recommend going pretty thin with whatever products are going underneath this set, because there will be a lot of layers of gel. So like my hard gel, I went very thin with for that reason. Then I'm taking a cateye gel, and this one is in kind of a gold color. And this is sort of like just the only one I had that would make sense for this look, but I would, stick to kind of warm colors, probably a gold or a yellow or an orange cateye. Something that will complement the rest of the colors that you're going to be using later on. But yeah, I'm going through and kind of just trying to get an even coat of the cateye gel here. And then I'm also going to show you my method for cateye. I tend to do the same thing over and over again. Some people sort of just like wiggle the magnet around, but for me, I always do first, I run the magnet along one side, then along the opposite side, and then along the bottom of the nail, and then the top of the nail. At least I try and do that every time to create kind of a consistent shift, I guess, in the gel. So you'll see me doing that there. I'm kind of checking, shifting the nail a little bit to see if I'm satisfied with the way it's looking before I cure it. Looks like I am, so I'm going in and doing a quick flash cure. And then I'll go and do this second nail in real time as well. After that, I think I'll speed through the rest of the nails, but we'll see this one more time, this process. You want to make sure that you're getting enough of the gel on your brush as well. I've had that problem before. You can see I'm kind of floating a little bit to make sure that I'm not taking off too much of the product as I'm spreading it around. But that helps to really increase the intensity of the shine. And then here I go again, same method, one side, the other side, bottom and then top. And just kind of perfecting until I like it. I will say, like, I wouldn't over perfect. I've done that before and it ends up not really working out. All right, so now we're going through the rest of the nails a bit more quickly, and you can see just doing the same thing on each of the nails to give that base of the cateye effect. And it is important to cure in between each nail, because if you're using the magnet on the, if you're not curing the first nail and going on to the second nail and using the magnet, it can affect the pattern of the nail you've just done. So definitely flash cure in between. That's important. And then for this set as well, I didn't show it, but I did consider doing a second layer of the cateye gel just to make it really stand out. But I chose not to, just because of that darker black jelly color that's underneath this specific polish. But if you want extra effect, you can do another layer of the gel. Okay, so now we have this clear orange jelly polish, and you can see as I'm applying it, it's a beautiful kind of ambery orange color, and it's really quite sheer. Honestly, I love the way this nail looks just with the cateye gel and then really kind of any jelly polish on top, but particularly this orange one is really beautiful. So yeah, that's something to consider. I feel like one really easy way to jazz up cateye nails is to just throw a jelly polish on top. It looks really beautiful to me. And then you'll see I'm doing 2 of these nails, and I am going ahead and just flash curing, just for a few seconds, because I just really don't enjoy having to clean gel polish out of the cuticles. I really try not to have it touch my skin, so just in case there might be any running, I'm going ahead and doing a flash cure after just 2 nails, and then I'll do the next 3, which you'll see me do sped up here. And again, honestly, so beautiful whenever I look at any type of cateye gel with a jelly polish on top. So beautiful. So I go in and give these a full cure, so a full 60-second cure. And then I will be going in with a second coat of the same amber orangey jelly polish, which you'll see. Obviously, that's up to you. I wanted a little bit more depth to this color. And you'll see that kind of at any point with these nails, you can do another coat of either this amber, or I have a lighter yellow jelly that I'll be using later, just to add another bit of depth and kind of, create some more depth, I guess. Going in for a cure there. Again, these are just the first 2 nails, and then I'm finishing off the last, or maybe that was the first 3, and now I'm finishing off the last 2. In for a full cure. And then after this is when the fun sort of starts. And I have to say, I do think there are many ways to do tortoiseshell nails. So if you don't have exactly the things that I'm using, don't worry about it. So what I'm doing here is, actually, when I was doing this set, I did my thumb first and kind of completed it just to kind of get a sense of how I wanted to do this. So you'll see me almost completing the thumb and then going on and doing the rest of the nails. So right here, I'm applying this blooming gel. This is like a really common one. I think it's Mia's Secrets or something like that, but blooming gel is what it's called. It's basically a clear gel, kind of like a top or a base coat, that actually helps sort of like diffract the color. Not diffract, that's not the right word, but spread out the color that you put on top of it. So I've put that on the thumb, and now I'm picking out some shades that I'll be painting the tortoiseshell with. The one on top is kind of this reddy brown. Again, it's a jelly polish, so it's not, it is sheer. And then I was looking for a good brown, and I didn't like that kind of chocolate brown that I had first looked at, so I got a darker and more cool-toned kind of ashy brown. And then this is kind of a gray-brown, fairly gray, and it's a jelly color as well. So really only that middle one is opaque. And unfortunately, I did sort of take my hand out of the frame here, but you'll see that first I'm going in with that cool-toned kind of grayish jelly color. It would be really nice if I were showing you where I was putting it, but alas, first YouTube video. But yeah, here, I've taken my hand into frame, and you can see I'm kind of just dotting it willy-nilly onto this uncured gel. So if you remember, on my nail is an uncured layer of blooming gel, and I'm putting this sheer grayish brown product just sort of organically around the nail. And one tip for this is to just look at a picture of tortoiseshell. There are so many different variations, so find the one that you're attracted to and try and replicate that using this technique. You can kind of use bigger spots or smaller spots or whatever you like. So again, I haven't cured. I'm going in with this grayish, this more opaque grayish brown product and dotting it in roughly the same areas. So what it's doing is creating an effect where there's a diffuse and more sheer color under a smaller patch of a more opaque color. That's also a bit diffuse. And then I'm also adding a couple just little spots here and there. And the more you let this sit in the blooming gel, the more it will bloom. So the more time you give it before curing, the more you'll see it spread out. So you can also keep that in mind as you're deciding how you want these to look. And then here I am giving these a cure. If when in doubt, cure. I think I gave these a full cure, full 60-second cure. And I'll take them out, and honestly, like, there you go. That is, to me, a complete tortoiseshell nail. And what you'll see is that I actually end up doing something a little bit different on the rest of the nails. So this is one version. And here you'll see I've just cured it, and I'm taking out this lighter yellow jelly polish and doing a coat on top. And this really helps to kind of give more depth and just really embed those colors in layers of lighter color, I guess. So there you go. I think I'm cleaning off the side of my nail a little bit. And then I'll be curing, giving a full cure to my thumb. And again, like I said, you'll see that I actually decided to do things a little bit different for the rest of the nails. But there you go. That's what it looks like. That is a perfectly acceptable tortoiseshell nail. And let's see what I do on the rest of these. So let's see. I'm taking, by the way, just a little, any art brush will do. That's fairly small, but I'm using kind of a tapered, pointy one, kind of like a pencil brush. And I'm going in this time, you'll see I haven't actually added the blooming gel. I'm actually going in and going straight onto the nail with this one is the sheer brown, which I actually didn't end up using on the thumb. But in this one, I'm starting with little organic blobs of the sheer brown color. And again, this is not on blooming gel. Because I noticed that I kind of wanted to put something down before adding blooming gel. And because these jelly colors are so transparent, I figured why not just put them directly onto the nail. They don't need the blooming gel yet. So here I go, doing this on each of the nails. And with this, because you're not applying a ton, in my experience, you don't need to do any kind of flash curing on each nail. You can just go through and do all of these in one kind of step. And you'll see, yeah, it's this beautiful kind of red-brown that really adds some extra dimension to these nails. I wish I would have done that on the thumb. I'm not sure why I didn't. But honestly, I've done tortoiseshell nails several times, and I do them differently every time. So, feel free to obviously deviate from this exact method. Going in for a full cure. And then when we come out, we'll be doing the next layer. Ta-da! Looking good. Not there yet, but looking good. All right, and now here I am now taking the blooming gel and putting it over the nails, each of them. And I will say too, if I haven't mentioned this already, you can absolutely just use either a base coat or a top coat in lieu of the blooming gel. In my experience, I've done this nail a few different ways, and I really can't emphasize enough that it's very flexible. Anyway, so here we are putting on the blooming gel, and then again going in to add some more of these bits of color over where we've previously put the deeper sort of red shade. And this shade that we're working with right now is the jelly gray shade, the jelly gray brown. Again, we're just adding it in places where we want to create more depth, kind of directly over the areas we've already added some color. And another little tip, in case you don't have jelly polishes, you can absolutely make them yourself. So you would do that by adding a small amount of an opaque color, like one of these browns, to a larger amount of either a top or a base coat, and that'll create a more translucent color. So again, another way in which this is a pretty accessible type of nail look, I think. Looks like I'm just about done with this coat. After this one, of course, we'll go in for a full cure. And we'll see that happening in just a second. There we go. And then we're going in for another layer of the blooming gel. And this will be our last step. After putting this on each of the nails, I'll be applying small amounts of that darkest shade, the opaque brown that I had laid out on my little makeshift palette. And as always, this blooming gel is optional. You could even just go in directly if you wanted a little bit more of a distinct look with the final dots. You could go in just with them directly on a more or less dry nail. But here we go. And you'll notice too, I'm using the same brush throughout. You can kind of see on the right that I'm dabbing it off on a lint-free wipe. But because it's like all supposed to sort of blend together, there's really no problem kind of double dipping. It can only enhance the look, I think. Again, this is one thing, or one situation where you have a lot of artistic liberty. You can make this a lot darker or lighter of a look, depending on how much of the deepest color you want to use and how much you want to let it expand in the blooming gel. So one little bit of advice that I actually implemented on the next hand is you can always cure nails a few at a time, because if you do all of them at the same time and you have blooming gel on, you will notice that the fingers that you start first will get more blended and diffuse. So if you want to avoid that, you can do just a few at a time. All right, and then the last thing you'll see is I'm putting on another thin coat of that yellow polish, the yellow jelly polish, just to sort of make sure everything looks cohesive and almost like encapsulated. And yeah, unfortunately, I forgot to take a clip of me putting on the top coat. So after we're done with this and you see it cure, we'll be going right to the final reveal. there it is. There are the nails. I actually totally loved these. They are so shimmery and shiny, and I hope you give them a shot. And like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff. Thanks.